Hello everyone and welcome back to Run My Arts watercolor tutorial series, and I would like to wish everyone a very happy new year 2026. So today's painting is about a ginger cat relaxing in a blanket of snow since this is winter season, and it's going to be on an A6 size cold press watercolor paper from Canson, and this very basic pre-sketch of the ginger cat. I've actually missed the first half of the recording, but nothing in detail, just a basic sketch of a cat which is in a resting position. So to kickstart, I am going to use the wet on wet technique. So the first step is to pre-wet the cat sketch, and later on I'll focus on painting the background. So if you prefer to use the wet on dry technique, go ahead. You can just paint the cat without pre-wetting, but I want the cat to have a very fluffy looking fur. So the first color that I'm using after pre-wetting the cat sketch is yellow ochre. As you can see here, it's a bit medium consistency. That means it's not too watery since I'm painting this on a already a pre-wet surface. So I'm gonna paint the entire cat with this shade. So since this is a ginger cat, we need some spicy warm shades on its fur. Therefore I'm mixing a little bit of burnt sienna and a little bit of cadmium red. You don't want too much of these shades since they are quite bright, and mixing this up with the earlier yellow ochre shade, and you'll get like an orangey or amber shade, and just dropping in those mixed wet paint onto the areas that you want the bright shades to appear, focusing on the back of the cat and also its tail, as you would always notice on a ginger cat. And be comfortable to switch between your brushes to suit the areas that you're painting. For example, in order to paint this bright orange shade on the cat's face, I'm using a smaller brush, which is my micro brush. So be comfortable to switch between the brushes so that your painting process is much more comfortable, and you reduce the amount of mistakes. And over here I'm dropping in a little hint of magenta onto its facial area, especially on its nose, which acts as a blush effect, and also a little bit on its inner ears. And since the cat is in a snowy ambience, I'm gonna create some snowfall effect, some snowflakes on the cat's face and body by dropping in some water droplets. And I'm using a smaller size brush, which is my micro brush. You can use any micro brush or script brush that has a very narrow and small size bristle in order to achieve these tiny spots on your wet paint created from the droplets of water from your wet brush bristle. So basically this has to be done on your wet painting so that the water droplet will create this bloom effect on your wet paint. Otherwise it may not be that effective. So moving on to the background painting or the surrounding of the cat, once again I am pre-wetting the entire unpainted area with some clean water before I drop in the paint. And the paint mix is of cool grey mix, which is mix of ultramarine blue with some burnt sienna. So mix these two color up until you achieve that gray consistency. And if you already have ready-made gray paint shade, go ahead. And the first step is I'm just creating some paint spatter using this gray mix, just to create some contrast in the snowfall effect. Done with the paint spatters, I'm using the same gray paint mix to paint in some shadow effect on the snow-capped ground where the cat is seated mostly, as well as a little bit in the back. And after applying this paint, you can notice me softening the edges of the brush strokes using another clean damp brush, just to avoid all the hard edges. So to create some details in the background, I'm going to paint some twigs and branches. So I'm using the Sapphire shade. You can use a burnt umber, which is a very deep brown. And just using my script brush to randomly paint the twigs. You can totally skip this dry brushes painting, but I thought by painting this it adds more perspective. So after that, I'm going to allow the entire painting to dry before we move on to the next step. So once the painting is dry, you can clearly notice how effective the water blooms are, which resembles the snowflakes or snowfall on the cat's body. And over here, I'm just trying to erase some of these the sketch marks using a kneaded eraser. You should only attempt to remove the sketch marks from your painting once the painting is completely dry. Do not attempt to remove them when the painting is damp, as it can tear the entire paper. So I'm going to proceed to painting a second layer of the cat's coat of fur, and I will have to pre-wet the cat's painting once again with some clean water before I drop in the paint. So for the second layer of painting, I'm using the same paint mix which has that orange mixture, but I've also increased the amount of burnt sienna, as well as a little bit of sapphire to darken the color, and I'm just dropping in the paint, avoiding the water blooms that we have created in the first layer, because I do not want the second layer of paint to overlap those effects. Otherwise, then the water bloom serves no purpose, right? We wanted that to appear even brighter. So that's the purpose of darkening the fur of the ginger cat. So paint it using a smaller bristle brush, a narrow brush, as in what I'm using over here. I'm using a script brush, which helps me to paint in these narrow areas, which is around those water blooms. So continue to paint this, and do check on your painting to ensure that the surface of the painting has been pre-wet. If some part of the cat painting has dried, you just have to pre-wet those areas so that the paint would result in soft blooms instead of hard lines. Otherwise, you will have to make more adjustments if you end up with hard edges. So done with the body. Now I'm going to focus on its face as well as its neck areas, and this is the time for you to add in more of the shades in a form of stripes and patterns as you wish. Basically, you're focusing on toning the cat's structure as well as its fur patterns. So once done with the second layer of painting, you're going to allow the entire painting to dry completely. So once the painting is dry, we're going to paint the facial details of the ginger cat, and I'm using sapphire instead of black because I thought black would be too harsh on its bright fur. So use a micro brush or a script brush to help you paint all these fine details. So as I was painting the cat's features, I realized that the cat eyes may not be the best looking one so far. So you can make it however big and bright you want for your ginger cat's eyes. And over here, just to create some tonal values, especially under the cat's eyes, I'm using a light wash of Sapphire. I'm applying it wet paint onto the dry surface of the painting, and after that I'm giving it some washes using a damp brush. This is basically like a glazing technique just to stain some part of the cat's face. So more glazing technique, and this time I'm using a brighter shade, which is a mixture of the earlier bright brown that I used for the fur. So basically we do glazing in order to stain, as I mentioned earlier, to tone down the features, as in shadow, brighter parts, highlights on the face structure of this cat. You also do this on human portrait painting, so that the actual face shape takes a 3D look instead of appearing flat. So if you want your cat features to appear sharper and look more realistic, you will have to glaze on some part of the portrait or its face to create that highlight and dark areas on the face. And over here I'm actually struggling with the eye because I don't want it to appear too bright. So I'm just softening by brushing off the earlier painting, and just retouching it, especially on the iris of the cat's eye. And over here I'm also brushing off some of this mouth and nasal painting so that it appears much softer. You can do this by using a very damp brush. Do not use a very soaked wet brush, otherwise you will end up lifting out the entire pigment. And on the ears I am just retouching it with a wet paint of the brown paint mix. Alright, time to paint the cat's whiskers. I'm using once again the Sapphire paint shade. I'm using a scrape brush to paint in the narrow lines of the whiskers. Alright, now time to create some highlights, especially on the cat's eyes. So I'm using a white gouache paint. You can use acrylic or some dry medium of white shade, as in pastel pencil, to apply these highlights. Using the same white gouache paint to paint in some light shade whiskers. Once again extending the white gouache paint onto the eye areas and other body parts. Especially focus on the cat's head. Done with those highlights, we need some dark areas to tone down the cat's entire body. So definitely we need shadow. So before I apply the shadow, I have pre-wet the body parts of the cat where I want to apply the shadow effect. And the shade that I'm using is the same cool grey paint mix. If you notice, this is actually a very light wash of the grey mix, because I'm afraid to go too deep in the shade. Probably once the painting has dried, then I would have some insight of whether to darken the shadow further. So you would want to go light with your paint mix first. So a little bit more adjustments on the highlight parts of this cat, because somehow I feel my cat looks very sorrow. So I hope you will be able to paint a happy face on your cat painting. You can also apply the white paint in a form of fur on the cat's face and body. So moving on, I'm creating some white paint spatters onto the entire painting to create more snowfall effect. And once spattering this wet paint, I am going to spray some water, clean water or water spritz, so that this wet paint would bloom further and create a realistic looking snowfall effect. A little cleanup using a dry paper towel if you don't want too much of the paint spatters, especially on the cat's face. And over here, in order to achieve a much more controlled look of those snowflakes, I'm just using the tip of the brush, since the painting is already wet with the water spritz. So I'm just dropping in those white paint by touching it onto the wet surface of the painting to create more of those white blooms which resembles snowflakes. A little bit of contrast in the paint spatters, so I'm using the gray paint mix once again to create some minor paint spatters. A little adjustment onto the cat's mouth, and we're going to allow this painting to dry completely. So now that the painting is completely dry, I have been able to decide that I need some darkening of the shadow on the cat's body, which is why earlier I mentioned that it is better to go light with the shadow painting. So now that I can visualize it better, I have gone with the darker shade of gray, where it mainly tones the reshapes the cat's head on its body, as it looked a bit invisible. The head shape of the cat looked a bit blended onto its body, so this shadow effect helps the head to stand out. Also applying the same shadow painting on its body, where we could distinguish the tail from its body. So more snow impression on the cat's body. So as I was applying the snowfall effect, I thought of brightening up its mouth areas and nose areas, as it was looking a bit dull. So by painting it in a lighter shade using this white gouache, I feel I would create a sharper look of the cat's face. With that final adjustment, my ginger cat in snow painting is complete. So how do you like the tips and painting methods that I've shared? If you find this tutorial fun and educational, then do hit like, share, and also the subscribe button if you haven't. Thank you for your support. See you in another video. Bye.